Hi trader, this is Elite Currency. My name is Chris, and today's focus is on trading patterns. The market structure composes of three things: support and resistance, trend and momentum, and patterns. These three things basically make up the market structure. So when I say market structure, I'm talking about these three aspects. Now the thing is that support and resistance and trend are in a battle with each other. Not necessarily every single second, every minute, but when there's a key confluence zone of support or resistance, or when there's a strong trend, basically at one point these two will be clashing and there will be a winner. Either trend will be strong and push through the support and basically break through the support or resistance, or the support or resistance is too strong and it could stop the trend from continuing. Which one will win? That depends partly on patterns. Patterns are a great judge of analyzing the market and trade psychology, basically. So when analyzing patterns, I have a better idea whether the trend or the support or resistance will be stronger, and whether I'm looking for a breakout or a bounce, whether I'm looking for a continuation or a reversal. Patterns help me make that decision. What kind of patterns? For instance, a chart pattern, like a rising wedge. A rising wedge, for instance, indicates the weakness of a trend, and that the trend could perhaps stop. So if there's a strong support or resistance, and we have a weakness in the trend, then those two kind of clues help me indicate that, okay, the trend might be stopping. The pattern is giving me that information. So what kind of patterns do we have? We have patterns that are based on market psychology. Those are chart patterns and also wave patterns. So for instance, when we look at this chart on the right, which is gold 4-hour chart, we see how, for instance, the analysis of the fourth wave helps me judge that there could be a fifth wave left, right? This helps me make that judgment. The chart pattern also helps because this particular part is a bull flag. A bull flag is a continuation pattern within a larger trend. So the wave 4, wave pattern, the bull flag chart pattern help me identify that the trend continuation is likely and that the resistance, this resistance here, the wave 3 top, will break. There are also candlestick patterns and trendline patterns. Those are good for judging whether indeed price is bouncing or breaking. The previous two were market psychology patterns. So that was basically the larger why, understanding what's going behind the price movement, right? What's really happening with these patterns. But candlestick and trendline patterns are more down to earth. They're more concrete. They explain to me whether price is indeed breaking through certain levels or not. So we might have a support or resistance level in mind. These patterns tell me whether that support or resistance is being broken or not. So when we have trend lines like this, these three trend lines being broken, we'll see candlestick patterns most likely push through them, and we'll see price breaking through these trend lines. Those are breakouts. Then we have also patterns like that are based on entry and exits. We can make Fibonacci patterns, fractal and time patterns. With these particular patterns, we can even make entries, or at least make more judgment about the likelihood of the next move, the swing high, swing low, right? The next piece of price action. Fibs are great for such entries and exits. And you can see here an example of price moving down, hooking back to the 38.2 fib, continuing down to the -272 target. Very neatly with the fibs. Let's take a look at an example. The euro dollar, I concluded that here was the wave 5 of 5, that this could have been a wave 1, 2, and the break of the trend line, this purple trend line, was for me the trigger of a potential larger downside. If you look at these purple trend lines, we can see a rising wedge, perhaps 2, and we see divergence between these tops. We see a divergence pattern, which is another pattern I didn't even mention yet, in this video at least. So you have divergence pattern, you have a rising wedge, 2 rising wedges, and you have a wave pattern indicating a potential wave 1, 2. So when price breaks through the support trend line, it's an indication of continuation. We get the wave 3 and the wave 4. So according to wave patterns, we're still looking for a wave 5 of a larger wave A. So this is what I was analyzing live in the webinar, and I was analyzing live in the video with Elite Currency and a live webinar with Admiral Markets. And you can see that the break of this channel, this green channel, was for me the potential to trade it. That's when I actually took it a bit earlier. I took it on this green line break, if I remember correctly. We'll see in just a second. I have the screenshot. I think it was the green line break, but we built another channel, and that gave another opportunity later on to trade it again, perhaps, or someone else could join. When you look at the 4-hour chart, you see strong candles indicating good momentum. You see a hook back, not breaking even the high of that candle, and you see a break of the trend line as well. This looks like a good breakout, and this is a pullback. Look at the slow corrective candles. Very slow. This is a pullback. This is a break, bearish break, pullback, and continuation. So then I used, of course, you can use candlesticks. I used SWOT, my ECS.SWOT system, to take the trade, and you can see that I took the trade upon indeed the green line trend line break of the green line here. That was my entry. The bottom was my invalidation level, the orange line right here. That is the invalidation level. That's where I had the stop loss. And the target right at the -272 target, and that's exactly where price bounced to the upside. So I picked the perfect exit and perfect target, and it was good for about 95 pips. So that was a great trade, 95 pip win, about a 40-45 pip risk. So a great 2-to-1, 2.5-to-1 trade there with the euro dollar, and you can see all the patterns that went into this calculation. All right, more free material at elitecurrency.com. Thanks for joining. If you like this video, please share, like, and subscribe. Cheers.